Otherwise, I'd be going to one of their houses. They distribute to the traps, and then they sell out of those. But by the time you're buying what they need, they know they can make better money just selling you direct. So they would just have you to their house or meet you out on the, in the Church's Chicken or something, and just parking lot and meet you somewhere or whatever. But it was less about really, I think in general as a practice, most of these cats in this business don't want you to be involved with anything that has to do with where they lay their head. So I didn't play that game, and most of them didn't, although I was in some of their homes. It wasn't a matter of, I think it was just a matter of circumstance where they was just had the opportunity and they're just like, man, screw it, because I know you're good. We've been working together for a minute, so it worked out fine that way. But it really wasn't
18
like
months, a long time in the streets.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that's a long
was.
time.
And I know, look, a lot of these guys were more sophisticated than people give them credit, because obviously there was all kinds of, this made people ask all kind of questions, but again, it's about the money, it's about everything else, and then by the end, it was just really about me figuring out the distress, the feelings that I got, the stress of having to arrest people that I really felt for, that I really wanted them to do well for themselves. And only a few gave me an opportunity to testify, and I did testify as to their character. I went in the federal stand and testified.
That's how you know a human.
For them.
He Jay Reed.
That's how you know a human.
He Jay Reed from In Too Deep.
Yeah, that's how you know a human.
But I'll admit,
you ain't no cop.
So many of the guys.
JT. You ain't no cop, JT.
So many of these cats didn't give me the opportunity, and I understand now, but at the time it was killing me, because I was like, man, we'd sit across the table, me and the FBI agent, and debriefing, and they're sitting in the feds, and there'll be some of them would just say, she'd be berating him about, I know you did this, and they'd be saying, man, it's not true. T, tell her it ain't true. You know what I'm talking about. And they would just talk to me like I'm still T, like, and I'm just like
you're not the police.
But you're breaking my heart, dude. You're breaking my heart, because I'm sitting on the other side of the table.
Come on, man, tell the motherfucker I ain't this bad.
Dude, it broke my heart. It was tough, because I was like, man, dude, I'm on the other side of the table, but I want to please tell her the truth, because I'm just. So the conundrum was that at that point, I was like, dude, just tell them the truth, because I promise I got you. It's going to be the best way, because they're trying to do right by you, and I'm swearing for them. But they're like, dude, I've been knowing you for 10 months or however long. So you're and they're telling, like, dude, I don't trust you now.
Yeah. So you're telling this U.S. prosecutor, this is a good guy. So you're advocating for this guy.
Yeah.
At the same time, telling him, man, just tell them the truth. And she's saying, hey, Tegan's not telling me the truth, so I can't work with him.
And they just, and then, or sometimes they just give me the bird. Sometimes they'd be like.
Because they really hurt, like,
Well, because I screwed him over, which, look, I did. I get it. But I was really like,
no, you didn't. You didn't screw him over. This is how this shit go, man.
It's part of the game. Yeah, I know it's part of the game.
Nah, you didn't screw him over.
It's not the only part of the solution. And that's honestly where it came down to, because it really was just about the fact that of all those roundup, we had 104 kids left.
I got to meet one. Yeah, I got that's how I got to know you. I got to encounter one of those parents whose mother was heavily involved into that operation.
Yeah.
Who child witnessed a suicide, I believe. End up growing up getting involved in some robberies, and so that's how I heard about you.
Well, that's how we fix it. The arrest is a part of the problem. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids, man. There's a lot of kids left behind. Most people don't know the hope for them. That you do a lot to keep those doors open. So yeah, that's why I thought it was important for you to have these interviews. So.
Well, I appreciate
it. So you build a friendship with a lot of these people.
Yeah. You
connected. They kind of look at you as, you playing Madden with them. You playing
not
video
all
games
of them,
and
but
stuff
certainly some of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But you know a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Throughout that time before you started to build that connection with them, do you witness some of the atrocities or the things in which got you involved in this whole thing in the first place? And does that pull on you as far as forcing you to wrestle with, I'm on this side or I'm on this side? Because on one side, you're looking at it from a friendship perspective.
Yeah.
These my guys, right? I've been spending an extraordinary amount of time with them. We connected. On the other side, listen, I got involved with this thing in order to fix what was going on in this environment because it's too much violence and whatever. How do you wrestle with that while you in it? And do you have any kind of identity crisis that then force you at the end of the night or when you lay your head at night, it's like, what do I do or what am I doing?
Yeah. I think most of it, I was ignorant to how it worked. I'd never worked for the feds, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of all this stuff. So they're giving me resources and stuff, and so I'm rolling with it.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking in the back of my mind, that's going to be a dude that we try to give a break. This is going to be a dude that we're going to try to work with. And I'm thinking that in my mind, like I have control over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have very little control over that. And the stuff I had control over, I would tell them I could control because, again, if they will let me get on the stand and testify in federal court, that's the best thing I can do because they can ask me the appropriate questions and I can testify as to their character, the things that I see, the promise that I see, and all it is my opinion anyway. Some of these cats are getting out and going right back to the game. Other guys are starting to get out and they're keeping their nose clean, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, that's all you can hope for. But again, it's only part of the problem. So the arrest, it's almost like when you have sex trafficking people, they always come to our company and say, "Man, we got this project. We want you to help us come in. We're going to go bust down doors and rescue all these women from sex trafficking." I said, "And then what? Like that's not solving the problem. All that's doing is putting people in danger to bust down the door and go through the process of executing a warrant, dragging these women out of a terrible situation that they don't know how to deal with, and they're going to turn around and go right back, and you're going to be serving search warrants every 6 months and finding the same people." And so that's part of the problem that I saw in retrospect, just having experienced it and looking back. I'm like, now that we know there's 104 kids left behind after we arrest 51 people, how do we keep the next T from coming up 18 years later and having to do this crap all over again?
So what do you, wait. You said you busted 51 people.
Yeah,
104 kids is left behind.
right.
So these are people that have kids.
Yeah. Well, they're all.
And you arrest all of those people, and then
The
they don't
parents.
know what to do with any of these kids after you
Yeah,
arrest.
well, I mean, some were fathers, some were not so much. But regardless, if you have a father that exists and he's out in the free world, even if he doesn't pay attention to you, it's better than having a father that's locked up in the feds for 25.
Yeah.
So the whole premise, that's what was brought to my attention when we started really looking at what kind of meaningful experience this was, and that's what made me write this book. It's like, man,
Kids that was left behind?
We've got to reach kids, starting with the kids that were left behind, but in general, the whole cyclical process only continues because now you got 104 fatherless children in a socioeconomically disadvantaged neighborhood that are now going to be the next gangbangers. And how do you intervene? That's how you intervene.